Floda, how can I help you?
I'm sorry, who?
This is Dr. Tony Floda from Impact.
Dr. Tony Floda. Oh, hi, Tony.
Who am I speaking to?
My name is Mr. Carr, and I have here a designated representative from Magellan named Ms. Stone.
Okay, so let me make sure I'm kind of clear about everybody. You're Mr. Carr from Magellan?
Okay, thank you for holding our...
Hi, just a second, Tony. Hang on, Tony, I'm sorry. We got disconnected, Tony, from Magellan's customer service. Is this Karen again?
No, Karen actually just went to a meeting.
Well, that's unfortunate because she was on a conference call with us. Could you please interrupt the meeting and let her know that we do have your name again, Tony?
Well, I'm Tony Floda, I'm the QI director here. They were trying to get a hold of the clinical director, but he's out at another site right now.
Could you spell your last name for us, sir?
Floda is F-L-O-D-A.
F-L-O-D-A. Floda.
F-L-O-D-A? Okay.
And doctor, you are a doctor of what?
Psychology.
Oh, great.
Doctor of psychology? Okay, one moment.
Johnny.
Yes, hello?
Yes. Tony, if you could just hang on a second. We're
sure.
We're trying to get the Magellan customer service representative back on the line. Somehow we got disconnected. Tony, just to give you a background here.
Okay.
2 days ago, two individuals, women, females, showed up in a white van at an address in Peoria.
Okay.
And they claimed to have been with Impact Magellan, they said.
Okay.
And then they refused to show their credentials, and when they were asked if they had paperwork by the bodyguard to Ms. Stone, Johnny, what happened? They asked for paperwork.
They said they didn't have it with them.
And
refused to give their names or show their credentials.
Okay, so these are people that were saying that they were somehow affiliated with Impact?
Yes, they did. They said they were from Impact.
Okay.
Dash Magellan, told us to call Magellan if we needed to know who they were and so on. And so we've done so. But unfortunately, Magellan...
I appreciate your patience. Excuse me, one moment.
Okay. And so, doctor?
Yes.
So it's, quite alarming to the consumer, of course. I'm mediating this call on behalf of that consumer, and it's really alarming because, somebody that would be declared with a serious mental illness that can't get any names or verify and has people showing up at their door is a very threatening thing, you can understand.
Yes, well, let me understand if this has anything to do with Impact. Someone's saying Impact/Magellan.
Well, here's the complication. The case manager from Magellan, his name is Matthew Fisher, is kind of under the gun because there's been grievances that are up in the administrative process now against this individual. And
this individual against the client?
No, against the case manager.
Against the case manager, Matthew Fisher?
Right. Yes.
Okay.
And Mr. Fisher claims to have called the Tempe office yesterday, your office of Impact, and claims to have verified that there's a petition. And then the individual who unfortunately hung the phone up or was disconnected here, her name is Karen Sargent. She's with customer service at Magellan, and she called your offices and said they can't verify a thing, they don't have any paperwork, and they don't know anybody that was sent over to this address. Now, there's a videotape of these people, and they have their badges held backwards so that nobody can see it. When they're asked to verify it by the bodyguard, they flip it around and hold their fingers over their names and the company, and then they flee into their van and say, call Magellan.
Well, it sounds like it's going from our place.
It sounds like what?
It sounds crazy to me. It doesn't sound like anything that any of our staff would ever do.
It does. It's not just crazy, but when you see this videotape, you have to wonder, these people have hygiene problems without question.
I got this. They're members of my staff. I'd like to hear more about why, besides the fact that they said that they were members of the staff, that anyone would believe that they are.
Yeah. Well, we've got calls into even the CMO of Magellan to try and resolve this. But this is a definite abuse, neglect, and manipulation on behalf of Magellan that's tying your company in.
Okay, well, we just need a lot more information before we can do anything.
Right. Well, you can understand, though, the threat that's posed to that consumer.
Well, sure, it sounds, I don't know if it's people pretending to be...
Well, that's what we have to determine here.
Yeah, okay, well...
Without question, there's no way that somebody could peacefully spend the weekend without verifying who are these people that showed up at the door that the bodyguard and a third party videotaped.
No, a bodyguard? What? Yeah. I don't understand that. There's a bodyguard at this client?
Yes. And the reason for that is because both the consumer we're talking about and the advocate have had their lives threatened, have active court orders of protection, and what do you have, an injunction against harassment from the person making these direct threats. and that person is yet to be prosecuted for interfering with judicial proceedings and or, to the best of our knowledge, served with the injunction against the harassment. And so the psychological warfare, I'm sure you can understand that term being a psychologist, is surmountable. It's unconscionable that people would show up at the door with badges, turned around, and the bodyguard right here will explain to you that he's been hired to protect these people because the police will not.
Okay, well, see, this almost, I've never ever, I've been in this field for over 20 years, I've never heard anything like this before in my life. But I'd like to get really focused on the piece that I think should be fairly easy to take care of to show that none of my people came to this place. So, and you said you guys had actually talked to some of our staff. I'm going to get a hold of our crisis director because these were people that were on the mobile team. That's what
they claim to be. That's what they claim to be.
Okay, well, whatever these people are claimed to be. But what I want to do is to get a hold of my people to know what teams went out. I need to know the address, the name, all this kind of stuff, so I can run it through my people.
Okay.
And for them to be able to verify that no one was sent out on that. We track what all of our people do.
Okay.
Where they go and why they go.
More alarming than that, 3 police officers were called 911 by someone else that saw this going on.
Okay, well,
we're hearing gunshot now.
All right, well, once again, I think, once again, this call is very, very a little disconcerting to me, to be honest, because this is very, very strange. And I want to make sure that I'm all really sure about who I'm talking to about and what I'm talking to about.
Okay.
So when we get the Magellan representative on again, I want that Magellan representative to talk to me, and I want a callback number that goes through a Magellan switchboard or whatever to get to this person because...
we'll give you that right now. If you could try to do it 3-way, that would help. It's 1-800 564 5465.
5465. Okay.
Now, just for your background, this person was petitioned years ago and declared SMI, and this petition was done by an attorney that took over the man's now deceased mother's estate and had a financial interest. So this is something very convoluted, and there's a string of lawyers involved. The man is very intelligent and probably is not deserving of any such tag. However, the game playing that's been going on, the advocate, Ms. Stone, that's here now, is so alarmed by this, as well as the bodyguard. They've been advised by, what was the officer's name in Peoria? Officer Adams, to record everything, and they have, including today's 3 hours worth of back and forth between your Glendale Impact office that hung up, by the way. Hung up the phone while they were trying to get the clinical director there. And Magellan as well, that just hung up on us, when we had this.
Who is this?
Who's this?
This is Kelly. Karen is in a meeting. She advised me to try to get in contact with Matthew Fisher for you.
Well, Matthew Fisher is the case manager, and unfortunately, Doctor, Mr. Fisher is the problem. This consumer had filed grievance even up into the administrative hearing process to remove Mr. Fisher because he does pose a danger to the consumer. And the advocate here will explain to you that even just yesterday, Mr. Fisher was to verify what?
It was to verify who these people were, where they were from, and if there was indeed a petition.
And then today he said that he spoke with the Tempe office, couldn't remember the name, and that a petition does exist.
Then Karen.
And then Karen Sargent, who is customer service with Magellan, who just hung up on us, is now in a meeting, Doctor, and she just hung up the call. I do believe that the importance here that they could interrupt that meeting and ask Ms. Sargent to get on the phone, because she's the one who...
Unfortunately, I cannot interrupt
Where are they in a meeting? At the West Valley Clinic?
No, she's in the meeting at the administrative office. You've reached the administrative office.
Okay. Doctor, still there? The number that we gave you, if you could try, apparently customer service is just not going to make themselves available now. Is that what we're understanding?
Well, I'm here. I'm customer service.
And your title?
Customer service associate.
The receptionist then?
No, I take all kinds of information and set up referrals.
We had, before apparently the meeting was more important than the crisis at hand, Ms. Sargent was on the phone 3-way with Mr. Fisher, the case manager. And so we're providing the psychologist on the line now, Dr.
I'm Dr. Floda, but once again, I'm not working here as a psychologist. I'm at quality management. So I want to make sure, since it seems like...
It's just like I wouldn't call an officer that's a lieutenant in the Army, Mr. So-and-so.
Well, that's fine. You can call me Tony. It's fine. However, once again, I'm a little disconcerted about the nature of this conversation. I need more official kinds of information before I talk or do anything else here, and I might need to even get my corporate attorney in, because once again, this sounds, from what you're telling me, quite complex.
Yeah.
A lot of litigation going on, and I have never in my life heard anything like this before. So I want to make sure I'm doing everything exactly according to the rules of law.
And, okay, notwithstanding, may I interject if I may? Notwithstanding the foregoing, and I appreciate your candor, clearly